Hello and welcome to one and all. So we'll continue with the various types of unemployment. Okay. So I think so far we have finished first one, structural unemployment. So that is what it is because of the economic structure of a country. The rise in population leads to rise in labor force. So the supply of labor force increases without the appropriate skills, but the demand for labor force will not increase that much because the industrial development is not that much in the country. That is again because of lack of capital. And I also mentioned Indian economy in the type of unemployment that is prevailing in India is one that of structural unemployment. So that is the first one we finished. Second one was the underemployment. So if the laborer potential is not utilized completely, so instead of 8 hours a day, he is given only 4 hours a day because of that much work is not there. So partly he is being contributing to production. So he is not contributing fully to production because he is only partly employed. He is not fully employed. So even though he can work for full day, he is given the work is not there. So he is partly employed. That is underemployment. The third one, what we finished was disguised unemployment. So when more people are employed in any area than the number of laborers that are actually required, and that is the extra labor force, they are disguisedly unemployed. They hidden their employment, their unemployment is hidden. So this we have checked that this is mostly happening in the agricultural sector. So when 4 or 5 laborers can is enough to do the work in a piece of land, maybe 10 laborers are employed there. So their contribution is nothing. Their additional, that is the marginal productivity is equal to 0. So that is disguised unemployment. So the next one what we checked was open unemployment. So this is not disguised, this is entirely open. So when a person who is, in spite of having the proper education, in spite of having the proper skill, is remaining unemployed for a considerable period of time, including the laborers who are migrating from the rural area to urban area in search of jobs. So even after migrating also, they couldn't find the jobs. So they remain unemployed for quite a considerable period of time. That unemployment is we call is a uh, open unemployment. I mean, this is disguised unemployment. The type of unemployment is called as disguised unemployment. And this is also open unemployment. Next, what we checked was educated unemployment. So when an educated person, in spite of the same, the category of open unemployment. So in spite of having the proper qualification and education, and skill also, not able to find jobs for a quite considerable period of time. That is educated unemployment. Mostly educated unemployment comes under the category of open unemployment. Then we also have seen what is the frictional unemployment. So the frictional unemployment is arising because of the imperfections in the labor market, and also because of the uh, both the employers and employee, they do not know the proper job opportunities in the country where it is available suiting to the skill and requirements. And because of that ignorance of the in the labor market and imperfections in the labor market, this frictional unemployment arises. Also sometimes when the people want to move from one job to another job, one occupation to another occupation, during the transit period of time, they remain unemployed for a certain period of time. But this is only a temporary type of unemployment. So that is frictional unemployment. Then we have checked the seasonal unemployment. So seasonal unemployment, mostly in the agricultural sector, the farmers, they uh, only up to harvesting season they have the job. Only for certain seasons they will have the job. Only couple of months in a year they are having the work. The remaining time they remain unemployed. So this is the seasonal unemployment because of the variations in the change in the demand according to seasons, according to the climatic conditions. So according to the climatic condition, the demand might be there for certain services, for certain products. The remaining season, it might the demand might not be there. So that is what is known as the seasonal unemployment. So 7 times we finish. Next, moving on to the next one, which is known as the cyclical unemployment. So the cyclical unemployment, mostly it will happen, or it happens in the developed countries. See, most of the developed countries, they are all the capitalistic countries, depend very much on the movements of market mechanism, that is a price mechanism. So there will always be upward and downward swings in the business, isn't it? The business just goes ups and downs like this. So during the, this is called as the downward swing. So when this, let me mark it. So this is point A and this is point B. So now this area is, this is called as the downward swing. So the economy goes up, reaches the, so this is prosperity. When the it is going upwards, it is prosperity in the business. So employment will be there. But then once it reaches the maximum level, it comes down. So this is the downward swing. This is the upward swing and this is the downward swing. So whenever there is a downward swing, there will be a certain amount of unemployment. And once after it reaches the bottom, then again it starts going up. Again, that is prosperity. The employment will continue to be increasing. So this is just goes, that's why it's a cyclical unemployment. The business just fluctuates up and down in cycles. So this mostly happens in the developed countries because of they mostly depend upon the price mechanism for their production, which goes up and down according to the changes in the demand and supply conditions in the market. And again, this is also temporary, because once it comes down, anyway, they know that it will go up. This is not permanent in nature in the developed countries. Okay, that is a cyclical unemployment. So put it in words. So this is due to business fluctuations which is commonly found in developed countries. So the downward swing in businesses leads to unemployment. Okay. Then the next type of unemployment is technological unemployment. So I think this is quite simple to understand. Whenever a new technique of production, new technique of organization, new technique of marketing, so any new technique is being invented. So during that period of time, the laborers will be replaced by machinery. So that is a uh, technical unemployment. So with the introduction of new technology, the laborers might be displaced. So this keeps happening. Technology keeps on changing, isn't it? New technology is being invented almost quite often all over the world. So the that might not require that much amount of labor force. Okay. Then next one, there's something called as non-employment. So non-employment, I mean, the most of the people who are working in the household activities, or people who are working in the unorganized sector, mostly all these maid servants and all those things, no? They all come under the category of uh, what do you say, non-employment. Maid servant, I mean, they might be working, but then the salary might not be according to the type of work what they are doing, because in unorganized sector there is no rule, there are no rules and regulations like what we are having in the organized sector. this should be the minimum wages, this should be the hours of work. So per day or per hour, this much has to be paid. So those kinds of conditions are not there in the unorganized sector. Or sometimes, for example, the new mothers or somebody, they don't want to have the continue with working, because they want to work, but at a they don't want to engage themselves full time. So they want a high quality job, but for us only for a limited period of time, not for the entire day, only for a 3 hours or 4 hours in a day. So they want part time and they want a high quality job. Both will not coincide. They might not be able to find a high quality job with what do you say, with a limited amount of time. So they remain unemployed. So that is a kind of non-employment. Okay. So the new mothers, they cannot work full time, even though they are having the good qualification and they are having the good, very good experience. They cannot work for a more than a certain period of time. So, and they cannot compromise on the quality of work also. So they want the same quality of work, but at the same time, at least high quality of work, but at the same time for a limited period of time. So that is very difficult to find. So they remain unemployed. That comes under the category of non-employment. So the people who are working in the household activities. So these are all very without any rules and regulations, or unorganized sector. Mostly this is found in the developing countries. Because in developing countries only the segment of unorganized sector is more than the organized sector, or under the category of non-employment. Okay. Now these are all the various types of unemployment. So as far as developed countries are concerned, they are facing the problem of cyclical unemployment. They are facing the problem of technological unemployment. They are facing the problem of frictional unemployment. But the difference is that these kinds of unemployment are only temporary. So soon it can be solved. But whereas when you take the developed countries, so I'm sorry, developing countries like India and all, so we are having so many other disguised unemployment. See, when you take the urban area, we are having that open unemployment. We are having that educated unemployment. We are having that structural unemployment. So when you take the rural area, we are having the disguised unemployment. We are having the what do you say, the seasonal unemployment. So different types of unemployments are, so many types of unemployments are there in developing countries. Because and also on the top of it, they're all not temporary. It are all like a more or less like a long term in nature, becoming a permanent issue in most of the developing countries. Okay. Then next we're moving on to the concept or the measurement of unemployment in India. So concepts and measurement of unemployment. I mean, how do you, what is the unemployment rate in the country? See, we all know like how we are measuring the poverty rates in the country. In the same way, we have to know what is the unemployment rate in the country. Okay. So how do we measure, on what basis we are measuring this person is employed and this person is unemployed? So for that, we should know what is the meaning of, uh, in what way you are categorizing a particular person as employed. Okay. So for that, it is basically a person working for 8 hours a day, 8 hours a day for 273 days in a year. This is a regular employment. Okay, he or she has to be. So this is the regular job and regular source of income. So 8 hours a day for 273 days of the year is considered to be an employed person. Okay? So it's considered as employed according to, there is something called as standard person year. This is the standard in a year. How many hours, how many days, and how many hours a person has to work, person year basis. Okay. So this is how we are checking. We are finding out that so and so person is employed properly or regularly employed, and based on this, we are calculating what is the percentage of unemployment in the country. So first, the first measurement is taken on a in a year wise. Okay, in a year, how many years, how many days in a year a person is being employed, or alternatively how many days in a year he remains unemployed. So based on that, we will say whether that person comes under the category of chronic unemployment or just for a certain period of time he remains unemployed. So that is the first measurement, is the chronic unemployment, or something called as usual principal status employment. So this is measured. So what in this, what how it is checked is, basically there is something called as the activity status. I mean, activity status in the sense that what a person is doing, what activity the person is doing. Okay. So basically the activity status of a person for 365 days. So I mean, preceding the survey. So today upon the agency is making a survey. So till yesterday, calculating the 365 days before today. So that means the last 1 year. So we're checking the activity status of a person. So based on that activity status, in what way he's spending his time, whether he's spending his time by working, by getting gainful employment, or the 365 days he's spending without working. So it is at least he has to be working a minimum of 183 days. Out of the 365 days, minimum a person is working for 183 days. Then that is his activity. So at least for 180, of course, it can be more than 183 days. So minimum 183 days before the survey, out of the total 365 days, if his or her activity status shows employed, actively employed, then that person is considered to be employed on a usual principal status. Alternatively, if a person is not working, if his or her activity status shows that out of the 365 days, more than 183 days, or at least 183 days is activities saying unemployed. So the person is not gainfully employed for 183 days or more than that, then that person is considered to be unemployed. Okay. So that means for major part of a year, a person's activity status shows that he is not being employed. So in that way, the person is considered to be chronically unemployed, or that is the usual principal status. To put it very simply, major part of the year, if the person remains unemployed, so that then it can, that comes under the category of chronically unemployed. Okay. So put it in words. If a person remains unemployed for a major part of the year. So the major part of the year, as I mentioned, 183 days or more is considered as unemployed. Okay, so this mostly educated and skilled labor, they come under this category because they are the people who don't take casual work. They don't work for any casual day-to-day work. They want a regular permanent job. So only then they will accept the job. So if so, whatever the type of unemployment we are finding, those kind of persons come under the category of educated and skilled unemployed labor force. So mostly those who search regular employment like educated and skilled labor force, because the unskilled uneducated labor force, they won't wait for major part of the year searching. So then and there whatever job available is available to them, they will work. But not that educated and skilled people, they want according to their qualification, according to their skill. So fall under this category. I mean, it is also referred as, we have seen, isn't it? Open educated unemployment come under the category of open unemployment, referred as open unemployment. So this is the first type of measurement, or in other words, this is with the reference period is taken is for 1 year. That's a chronic or what is called the usual principal status employment. Okay. Then the second measurement is concept or measurement is something called as the weekly status unemployment. So normally we say current weekly status unemployment. So this is the thing is the same 1 year we are checking the previous measurement. I mentioned to you what was the activity status of a person 365 days preceding the date of survey. So that 1 year, I mean, how do you it is not that each and every day the agency is making a survey whether that person is being employed or not. So that in order to enable the agency to find out for 1 year whether the particular person is working or not, it is broken into weekly. So some weeks are selected as a survey week. So in that survey week, when the agency is making the survey, at that particular point of time, in 1 week, they will make a survey. So out of the 7 days, if a person is not working even for an hour during that survey week, is considered to be unemployed. So I repeat again. So in order to know the status of employment or unemployment of a person, it is not possible to check make the survey continuously day after day for 365 days or 183 days or more. It is not possible to make the survey. So what the agency is doing, they just pick up one area, one week the survey is being conducted. So in that 1 week, so they are making a 1 week survey in one particular area. So out of the 6 days or 7 days, if a person is working even for an hour in the out of the total 6 days or 7 days, if a person is working even for 1 hour in a day, 1 day, 1 hour, if he's working also is considered to be employed. If he's not working even for 1 hour in a day of the total 6 days, then that person is considered as unemployed. Okay. So to put it in words, so this is for properly current weekly status, CWS. Okay. This approach measures unemployment with respect to 1 week. Okay. a person is said to be unemployed if he or she is unable to work even even for an hour during the survey period. Okay, so that is a weekly status unemployment. Then the next one is the weekly status unemployment. See, the usual principal status, that is for 1 year, that is broken into weekly status for the convenience purpose. So that weekly status is again broken into daily status, that is current daily status unemployed. For all the practical reasons, we are using the statistical organizations. They are using the current daily status unemployment, whatever the data we are getting, whatever the rate we are getting based on current daily status unemployment. That's what is being used for all practical reasons. Okay, so if you are saying this is the rate of unemployment in our country, if you are finding in the newspaper or if you are finding out, so that is mostly it is based on current daily status unemployment. Okay, so it is again it considers the activity status of a person uh, for 7 days. So if a person in out of the 7 days, if a person one day, if a person is working for 4 hours a day, he is considered to be minimum 4 hours. So total, based on survey, 7 days they will make a survey. In that 7 days, even if the person is working only for one day, minimum 4 hours, and of course it can be more. So minimum, if a person is working for 4 hours in a day out of the total 7 days, that person is considered to be totally employed. It is not that one day is employed. We are not saying like that. So he doesn't come under the category of unemployed labor. Okay, out of the 7 days, one day if he's working at least for 4 hours, then that person is removed from that unemployment list. So he is considered to be employed. Okay, to put it in words, it considers the activity status of a person for each day of the preceding 7 days. Preceding 7 days means that today the agency is making the survey, means the previous, from the starting from yesterday, the previous 7 days, they will check the activity status of a person. Out of those 7 days, one day 4 hours if a person is working also, he is considered to be totally employed, fully employed. So the reference period is, here is a day. So here the reference period is a day. So normally, how do they say he is employed? If a person works for 4 hours or more during the survey period, he or she is considered to be employed for whole day. So alternatively, we know that if a person is not able to find even one day, 4 hours a day, also is, if a person is not able to find the work, he is considered termed as unemployed. So these are all the concepts or the way the unemployment rate is being calculated. So basically what it is, if you are saying the usual principal status, the first one, the usual principal status, so that is UPS. measures something called as chronic open unemployment. So this is what this one is measuring. Usually the reference period is 1 year. And as far as the second one, the current weekly status is concerned, that is CWS. This one measures, this measures also chronic unemployment, but then the reference period is only for a week. Chronic unemployment, and the reference period is 1 week, is a week. And the third one, current daily status, which is CDS. It measures both, it measures the chronic unemployment. Chronic means permanent. If the person is unemployed for a long period of time in a year, major part of a year, means that is almost like permanent. That is called as chronic unemployment. So it measures both the chronic unemployment and also underemployment. So both it is, both data it can be available. So here the reference period is a day in 7 days. Out of the total 7 days, 1 day. Okay. So these are all the concepts or the way the unemployment is being measured. So let us check the estimates of unemployment in India. So here, based on usual principal status, everything is in percentage, and based on current daily status, this also in percentage. So 1977-78, it was 4.23% based on, so this one 8.18%. Always current daily status will show a higher rate than the usual principal status, because nobody will remain unemployed for a long period of time, isn't it, compared to daily status. So this one 2.56 decreased to 2.56 in 1993-94, and daily status decreased to 6.03%. And when it comes to 2004-2005, it again increased to 3.06%, and this one daily status increased to 8.28%. This is because of the economic reforms introduced in the country. And 2011-12, this again decreased to, so people have adjusted to the new economic reforms. So it was 5.6%. And next 2022, the current level, we don't have the data for this. It is as expected, it is estimated, it is 8% as of current level of unemployment in the country is 8%. So urban areas 7.5% and rural areas 8.2%. And we had a record unemployment in April 2020. Thanks, the reason was 23.50%. This was the unemployment rate in April 2020. So now, as of now, you can say that this is the unemployment rate in our country, 8%. So like 10 years back also, it was only 5.6. So this is the current level of unemployment in our country. Okay. So hope you are understanding what the concept. So the highest unemployment rate is prevailing in the states of Rajasthan with 23%, Jammu and Kashmir again 23%, Haryana 23%. The lowest unemployment rate is Chhattisgarh, Assam, Uttarakhand. So they are all having only 0.1% or 0.5%, like that. Okay. So anyway, on the whole for India, it is The level of unemployment as of now is 8%. So in the next class, hope the concept is clear. All those weekly status, daily status and all. So in the next class, we'll continue with the causes and consequences of unemployment. Okay. So if you find this video useful, please like, share and subscribe. If you have any doubts or suggestions, don't fail to mention in the comment box. Okay. So until my next class, next video, take care. Bye-bye.